I started off as an accountant. I have a bachelor's and master's in accounting.
So approximately what number are you currently looking at when it comes to revenues?
Multiple six figures. I'm not a climber. I have 6 kids and we live in Florida. So I live at sea level, but I knew I needed to get out of my comfort zone. And that opportunity really changed my life. I really realized what I was capable of, and I stopped worrying about what anybody else was doing. I stopped worrying about what anybody else is thinking. And that's why I talk about confidence, because it's so in whatever business that we have beyond business in life, it's so important that we understand that confidence is.
Welcome to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. My name is Shahid Durrani. Today we have with us Simone Knego. Simone is an international speaker, award-winning author, and empowerment coach who helps women overcome self-doubt and live a purpose-driven life. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
It's great to have you, Simone. So let's just start the party with a question that, many people in the audience love to know when they're looking at podcasts or listening to it, is if you could share, where your current revenues are.
Yeah.
As of today.
Yeah. So, I'm a keynote speaker. I'm also an author. My second book came out last week. So majority of the income I earn is from speaking, but also doing workshops and classes. So that's majority of what I do. And this is actually something that I love to talk about, because this is not how I started my working life. I started off as an accountant. I have a bachelor's and master's in accounting, changed my mind several times before I found what I was really passionate about, which is storytelling.
Storytelling, yeah. So approximately what number are you currently looking at when it comes to revenues?
Multiple six figures.
Multiple six figures. Wonderful. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. So Simone, can you share what your life looked like before you kind of got into the realm of success?
Yeah. So I am someone who struggled with self-doubt for the majority of my life. In 2015, I had an opportunity to do something completely out of my comfort zone. And that really changed my life. And that opportunity was to climb a mountain, to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm not a climber.
Oh.
I have 6 kids. And we live in Florida, so I live at sea level, but I knew I needed to get out of my comfort zone. And that opportunity really changed my life, because I really realized what I was capable of. And I stopped worrying about what anybody else was doing. I stopped worrying about what anybody else is thinking. And that's why I talk about confidence, because it's so in whatever business that we have beyond business in life, it's so important that we understand that confidence is a skill that we build. And when you stop worrying about what everybody else is thinking, because most of the time they're not really thinking about you, then you're able to do the things that you really want to do and create an incredible business that you love doing, right? So that's, for me, that was the big change in my life, was that I stopped worrying about anything else. What anybody else was thinking or doing, and focused on what can I do? What can I do in my world?
Yeah. As for me, when I started observing my inner world, I noticed the storyteller within, making up these stories about what other people are saying about me and what they may feel or judge regarding how I'm performing, for example. And it would draw me in, because it's coming from within. You take it so serious, especially when you grew up with that voice your whole life. So I completely understand where you're coming from, but can you share how you actually made it so that you stopped worrying about what other people thought of you and went ahead and did those things?
So the voice that you're talking about, I call that voice the what if whisperer. I also named her Sally, because that way I can separate her from me. But that idea of, what if you fail? What if they judge you? What if? And again, they're really not thinking about you. And if they are, they're not your people. But what I have a little mindset hack that I like to use. It has a very creative title. It's called Ctrl-Alt-Delete. So Back in the day, it was how we would reset a frozen computer. Now it brings up Task Manager. I don't really know what Task Manager does. I guess it manages my tasks, but I haven't really noticed. So, but control is about awareness. What's the thought that's running your day? Is it real? Is it helpful? Most of the time, the answer is no. We make up these stories inside our head about how everybody's so successful and we're not. Whatever the story is, it's not a real story, right? We have made it up. We tend to go to the negative. Alt is about alternative. Tell yourself a better story. Instead of telling yourself you can't do something, yes, I can. Watch me. Instead of asking yourself, what if I fail? How about when I succeed? Your thoughts become your reality. Your words become your reality. Right now, we just finished the Olympics, and you don't see an athlete, like, for example, a skier. He doesn't go to the top of the run and say, well, I'm really going to suck at this, right? What does he do when he goes up there? Or what does she do when she goes up there? They tell themselves what they're capable of, right? They tell themselves that they are going to do amazing, like that they're the best at this and they've got it. They put in the work, but we tend to not do that with ourselves. Finally, delete the habits and beliefs that don't serve you. Delete the comparison game. Delete the idea that you're not enough. Delete the idea that you need to wait until you feel ready. I like to say that waiting until you feel ready is like waiting for IKEA instructions to actually make sense. It is not going to happen.
Yeah, no, wonderful. So I love that Ctrl-Alt-Delete, because our mind, it always needs some kind of image, so when you have Ctrl-Alt-Delete, right away you think of the keyboard and how simple it is when we're fiddling with the keyboard to make changes. Why not? Why can't it be that simple in our internal world as well, right? So it kind of gives you an image of Ctrl-Alt-Delete. Wonderful. Now, if we had to kind of strip away everything, I think you touched upon this about speaking, but what's the one main way that you make money today?
Yeah, speaking, keynote speaking. Speaking,
okay. And when you first started speaking, was it financially sound?
No, not at all. I mean, you've got to get your reps in, right? It's not like you start as the CEO of a corporation, right? You have to work your way up. So same thing with speaking. Like, you start speaking for free, and then you start speaking for smaller associations, and then people notice you, and then you get asked to do bigger things. And, I think we have this idea in our head that we have to start at the top, and that doesn't work. I mean, it's one thing when you create your own business, but you still have a lot of hardship to go through when you create your own business, right? I mean, it doesn't all of a sudden some businesses do, but in general, it takes a lot of work to have a very successful business. And so it's putting in that work, understanding that it takes time, and not being so hard on yourself when it does take time.
Yeah. No, wonderful. Simone, when it comes to someone working a 9-to-5, for example, they're stuck, or even a business that is actually another job, can you share your top 5 recommendations for someone that could, start a business where it could be lucrative for them, or they can start replacing their income with these 5 ideas, something that came to your awareness or something you can share that can help someone out there?
Yeah, I think that the first thing is you can make money doing anything these days, right? I mean, think of the influencers on social media. Some of them make a ton of money doing stuff. So you got to find what you really like. Now, first, so, okay, that's one thing, is that, understand that you can make money doing pretty much anything. Number 2, don't quit your job tomorrow and then say, oh, it didn't work out for me. I always think that it's good to start on the side, right? Start something slowly, see if it catches on, so that then you can go full force into it when you have enough money to sustain it, right? So right now it's kind of like, if you have a regular job and then you have a passion project, your regular job is fueling the passion project. Once the passion project gets big enough, you don't need the regular job. You can completely focus on the passion project. Number 3, don't do something because someone else told you to, right? That's the easiest way to fail. Oh yeah, you're going to be really great at this. This is going to be amazing. You have to want it for yourself. And has to be something that really interests you. Number 4, when you hit a bump in the road, you keep going, right? If it's something that you're really passionate about, everybody fails. That's part of it, right? Failure becomes success. Failure is not mutually exclusive from success. It's part of the process. So we need to really reframe failure in terms of, okay, what did I learn from that? What can I do differently next time? And then lastly, it's staying committed, because, especially to ourselves, keep the promises that you make to yourself, right? If you say you're going to do something, you need to follow through, because first of all, for your own sake, because when it comes to confidence, that's a big part of it, is that self-trust. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. And it also, obviously, it affects your clients. So if you keep backing out of stuff, then they're not going to want to come back. So if you say you're going to do it, do it.
So those are all amazing. One point that you made that is very important is that you want to do something that you like, or you're passionate about, or something that you gravitate to. But just from your experience doing so many, speaking engagements all over the world, internationally, meeting so many people, having clients in 2026, other than influencer, any other ideas that someone could do?
Oh, I think you can start any kind of business. I've seen people create cosmetic companies out of nothing. Like they would be creating stuff for their friends, right?
Much easier now.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. There's so many opportunities to do things. Yeah. I have someone that I know, her son created a candle company. He's like, his candle company is huge now. He has 75 employees. He started it 3 years ago, right? So, beautiful. And it doesn't matter if something already exists out there. It's what are you going to do just a little bit differently, right? And that's the thing about innovation, is that it doesn't have to be coming up with a completely new idea. How do you make it a little bit better, right? How do you make it a little bit different? And then, and following through on it.
Yeah. No, that's great. So can you walk us through, if you recall, when you got your first customer, if you could share a step-by-step gameplay, what you did to get that first customer? Yeah,
I think actually my first paid speaking gig was word of mouth. So, someone saw me speak somewhere else, and then asked me to, come and pay me. And I think that's a really important point, is that we have to put ourselves out there. Like I said before, when you first start doing something, sometimes you have to do it for free, but you also have to do the networking piece, right? So many people shy away from, I don't want to go out there and talk to people. Well, that's how you build your business, is through relationships, right? You want the relationships there before you actually need them. So it's meeting people so that they know who you are, and not selling yourself from the second you meet them, right? It's really about saying, okay, how can I help you, right? It's really offering your services to someone else. Like, how can I help you? What do you need from me? Instead of just asking right away, here, I need you to hire me for this, because, you need that relationship
first. Start with value.
Yeah, start with value, give value, and then you'll get value. And I found that, so I just launched my second book last week. And when I wrote my first book, I thought, if you write it, they will come. No, they won't. You have to invite them in, right? You have to tell them what you're doing. And so with the second book, obviously I have a ton of relationships. So it was really about putting yourself out there. You need 11 points of contact. Like someone needs to see something 11 times before they will buy from you. And the number of hours you have to put into that is also intense. So you just can't be so hard on yourself to say, well, why didn't they buy it? They have to see it so many times. And right now we're in a trust recession, right? People really need to trust you. They need to believe that what you're doing is going to help them.
Yeah, definitely. So can you share any specific skills or knowledge that you had to quickly pick up to get this going?
Yeah. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to wear 15 different hats at least, right? So same thing with speaking. I thought, okay, people will see me speak and then they'll hire me. No, I also have to market myself, right? I have to call and send emails. And because a lot of people don't know, right? We make these assumptions like, why isn't anybody calling? Well, do they even know you exist? So it's really taking that step back to say, okay, how do I put myself out there? How do I, what am I doing? Put it on your calendar. Take a certain amount of time every single day to make contact with people. Let them know what you're doing. And for example, with speaking, when there's a conference coming up, contact the them directly to say, okay, I know you have a conference coming up. This is what I speak on. I would love to be considered. Who do I talk to? Right. But you have to do the work. You have to put yourself out there. So it is wearing the financial hat. It's wearing the marketing hat. It's wearing the sales hat. So what you do physically is a very small part of the entire overall business.
So if you look back at things, what was that one move or that one strategy that got things moving for you in your career?
Yeah, I would say it's believing in myself, right? Not waiting for someone else to tell me, oh, you're doing a really good job.
It's very important.
Yeah. You have to believe it for yourself. You have to know in your heart that you are doing a really good job. And because when you believe that, right, then you can go and sell yourself. You can talk to people about what you do because you're doing a really good job. I know there's some people that can sell anything, right? I can't sell something if I don't believe in it, right? If there was a product and I'm like, it's sketchy, I don't believe in it, there's no way I'm going to sell it because I have to believe in it. So it's the same thing when it comes to myself. Like I have to believe that I'm going to do an amazing job for them. And it works that way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's the internal game, really, when it comes to how much we do, because if we lack belief or self-belief, we'll talk ourselves out of almost anything in our life. You know what I mean? So what would you say to someone who does not believe in the importance of self-belief or, having that inner knowing, that confidence that, wait a minute, listen, if I have that deep down belief, no matter what I need to do, I'm going to figure this out. Yes, consciously we can say this all day long, but it's more in a deeper realm where we have to kind of bring it into our nervous system to actually believe, have that worthiness foundationally, right? So if you bring this up to someone, they'll say, what would you say to someone that may say that, no, I just need strategies. Give me stuff to do. I'll do it. I have no problem with getting things done. I don't need to worry about what I believe in myself or all that, stuff. I just want to go and hit and take action. Give me juicy stuff. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say that it'll eventually fall apart because if you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't believe in yourself, how are you going to sell yourself? I mean, eventually it's going to catch up with you where you're going to say, like, what am I doing? Why isn't it working? Well, it's not working because if you aren't believing in what you're doing, like you're doing a crappy job selling yourself. Like you really have to take that time to take a step back and say, wait, yes, I'm doing what I love. I'm passionate about it. And I can talk about it so easily. And that is a strategy. I mean, that is a strategy, right? I mean, confidence is a strategy, right? So that the whole mindset piece is strategy. So, I think it's just looking at it differently.
Yeah, no, it's so true, Simone. It's just that, mindset got a bad rap in many, many circles, unfortunately. And it at times it saddens me because, I knew how difficult life was before the inner transformations and how this state of flow is not pulling me in every time there's up and down. I'm just my focus is people, and my focus is doing as good of a job as I can in all directions, not worrying about the results and all that. So that has a lot of fulfillment in your life, not just the success part, but you just feel peace, and that peace you start understanding, wait a minute, this is what life is supposed to be. It's supposed to be full of challenges, but how am I dealing with it? Right? Yeah,
absolutely. And for me, a big part of success is how I feel, right? So, I mean, we can talk about money in the bank, but it's more than that, right? Yeah. You can see some of the people that we consider the most successful and they are so unhappy, right? It could crack at any moment because they're so unhappy. So that's why you have to figure out what you love. And that's why you have to believe in what you're doing, because otherwise you are miserable, right? I mean, It's not about taking a job for money.
Around you.
Yeah. Everybody around you. If you're miserable, that's what people see about you, right? And modeling matters more than managing.
Yeah. And it's so easy to check that, right? If you're in a boardroom or in meetings, you know, you don't need words or language to pick up on people and what they're going through. And you'll see it. It's very obvious in many circles that there's a ticking time bomb. You know, it takes a very small aspect to completely change the direction of meetings and even the work we do, you know, because if we feel that way, what's the quality? How's the quality of the work that we're doing, right? So can you share a strategy or an idea in the past that you said, you know what, this is it, baby. Like, this is going to take me to the top, you know, but it turned out to be a total waste. Could you share?
When I was, yeah, sure. I mean, one of the things I did, and this has nothing to do with speaking, but one of the things I was doing before, because I said I've changed my mind many times in my life. One of the things I was doing before was flipping houses. So I had a partner. We were buying houses, fixing them up and selling them. And we got so caught up in stuff that we weren't paying attention to the market. We weren't paying attention to the environment, right? And we ended up buying a couple houses. The market tanked. That was the last big market tank. And we got stuck with the houses. And you couldn't, we were so upside down at them. The bank took them back, but and ruined my credit for years. Okay, bump in the road, right? So I really thought like this, oh my gosh, this opportunity, it's so great. Let's just keep going. But I wasn't paying attention, right? I was just so caught up in the last house worked really well. Let's do another one. Instead of saying like, is this the right time? Because a lot of times it is not the right time. And so, when I look back now, I was like, well, that was really dumb. But, I don't regret it because I learned a lot about myself during that time. And I learned that, failure is part of success, right? I mean, you have to fail forward. It's not a stop sign. You keep going after it happens. And what would I do differently? And I would have done a lot differently. What did I learn from it? It's in the past. I can't change that. But if I were to do it again, what would I do differently? Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing your voice, Simone, all the good stuff. Hopefully we added value. And, sometimes it just takes that one thing for someone to change their life. So hopefully we did that, and I appreciate you. I wish you all the best and keep in touch. Thank you so much.